The September 11, 2001, attacks stand as one of the most devastating and consequential acts of terrorism in modern history, forever altering the global landscape in terms of security, warfare, and international relations. On that fateful Tuesday morning, 19 members of the extremist Islamist group al-Qaeda carried out a meticulously coordinated attack, hijacking 4 commercial airliners and turning them into deadly weapons against the United States. The attackers, who had trained for months in flight schools and studied American aviation protocols, managed to breach security measures and seize control of the aircraft shortly after takeoff. At 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, American Airlines Flight 11, a Boeing 767 departing from Boston's Logan International Airport bound for Los Angeles, crashed at high speed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Initially, many believed it to be a tragic accident, but this perception changed just 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., when United Airlines Flight 175, another Boeing 767 also originating from Boston and en route to Los Angeles, struck the South Tower in a fiery explosion. The world now realized that America was under attack. Both towers, heavily damaged by the impact and engulfed in flames fueled by thousands of gallons of jet fuel, began to collapse within hours, sending plumes of smoke and debris across New York City and causing the deaths of thousands of office workers, firefighters, police officers, and civilians. Meanwhile, at 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77, which had departed from Washington Dulles International Airport for Los Angeles, was also hijacked and crashed into the western facade of the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense. The impact caused a massive fire and structural collapse, killing 125 military personnel and civilians inside the building, along with all 64 people aboard the aircraft. The fourth and final plane, United Airlines Flight 93, had taken off from Newark International Airport bound for San Francisco and was also seized by hijackers. However, passengers aboard the flight, informed of the earlier attacks through phone calls, heroically decided to fight back against the terrorists. A struggle ensued in the cockpit, forcing the hijackers to crash the plane into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 10:03 a.m. Investigators later determined that the intended target was likely the White House or the U.S. Capitol, and the passengers' brave resistance prevented further devastation. In total, nearly 3,000 people lost their lives that day, including the 246 passengers and crew members on the hijacked flights, more than 2,600 individuals in and around the Twin Towers, and 125 at the Pentagon. The attacks led to immediate and profound consequences. Air travel across the United States was halted for the first time in history as the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, ordered a nationwide grounding of all flights. The New York City skyline was permanently altered, and an economic downturn followed as the financial district struggled to recover from the devastation. The response from the U.S. government was swift and far-reaching. President George W. Bush addressed the nation that evening, vowing to hunt down those responsible, leading to the declaration of the War on Terror. Within weeks, the United States launched Operation Enduring Freedom, a military campaign aimed at dismantling al-Qaeda and toppling the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, which had provided safe haven to Osama bin Laden and his network. In the following years, security policies across the globe were drastically revised. The USA Patriot Act was enacted, granting law enforcement expanded surveillance powers to combat terrorism. The Department of Homeland Security was established, and the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, introduced stricter airport security protocols. The attacks also led to increased military operations in the Middle East, eventually culminating in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. The psychological and cultural impact of 9/11 was immense, leaving an indelible mark on American society and global geopolitics. Memorials were erected to honor the victims, including the National September 11 Memorial and Museum in New York City, which features the footprints of the Twin Towers as reflecting pools inscribed with the names of those who perished. Every year, moments of silence are observed at the exact times of the attacks, ensuring that the heroism, tragedy, and resilience of that day are never forgotten. The events of September 11 reshaped the 21st century, serving as a reminder of the devastating consequences of extremism and the enduring need for vigilance against threats to global security.